Thank you. Appreciate that. I'd like to begin by saying fuck Lance Armstrong. Fuck him and his balls and his bicycle and his cancer and his steroids and his yellow shirts and the dumb empty expression on his face. I'm tired of that asshole. And while you're at it, fuck Tiger Woods too. There's another jack-off I can do without. I'm tired of being told who to admire in this country. Aren't you sick of being told who your heroes ought to be? Being told who you should look up to? I'll choose my own heroes, thank you very much. And fuck Dr. Phil, too. Dr. Phil says I should express my emotions, so that's what I'm doing. I want to tell you it's a pleasure to be here with you tonight. Not too many years ago, I would have given my right arm to be in the same room with 4,000 people who knew where to score. That's a while back. We're all glad for that. Want to say, as we begin this, what looks like a very long election cycle that we're heading into, I have an idea, a suggestion for this country. I think we ought to take all the mentally defective people in America and give them government jobs and then sit back and watch everything improve. Tell you about what I got here. I got a whole brand new show from the last HBO. These are my papers. I always bring papers. I never have anything to roll, but I do have papers. Always have papers. Yeah. I'm the guy at the end of the couch. I got papers. I got papers. But I do have papers, and what this is about is this. I've done exactly 13 HBO concert shows. That's what I do really for a living, kind of. I've done 13 of them in the last 30 years. I average about one every two and a half years, something like that. And this one is brand new from the last time. This is the 14th show. This is going to be done in February of next year. And the reason for the papers is I keep revising this shit and working on it every week. And there are certain sections of the show where I have to glance at the papers. I'm going to have to use them a little bit. They don't get in the way, believe me. In fact, they're better. This is better for you because this way you get to hear this shit the way it's intended, okay? As opposed to having to be fake my way through it. So this will help us, and we'll have a lot of fun. Don't worry, this shit works. I've been doing it for a while. I'm not trying it out on you. I don't try shit out. I don't do that. People say, are you trying out something new? No, I don't fucking try things out. I just do them, you know? It's as simple as that. Like I say, it is new stuff, and I hope you like it, but if you don't, I don't give a shit. You see, I don't care because the audience doesn't really figure into my plans. I look at it this way. I'm here for me, you're here for me, and no one's here for you. So if you can handle that, we should be just fine. Now, I never thought I would live long enough to say this, but I have, so here it is. What's wrong with our kids today? What happened to these kids? Since when? Since when does a 14-year-old boy who has somehow managed to start fucking a reasonably good-looking teacher tell the police about it? What kind of a message does that send to our grown-ups? 3 times he fucked her, then he called the police. Apparently the novelty was wearing off. But I mean, a 14-year-old boy, you know, come on. Like, you can kind of understand it. You can kind of understand it if a little girl says, Daddy, the science teacher fucked me in the ass. You can kind of understand that. In a way. And by the way, it's always the science teacher, isn't it? Huh? Yeah. Hey kids, you ever seen one of these? Come here, kid, come here. But a 14-year-old boy is supposed to have a perpetual hard-on. You don't tell that shit to anybody. Not even your best friend. That's a secret. I guess I can take comfort from the many thousands of young boys who are out there tonight fucking their teachers and not saying a word about it to anyone. For everyone that's in the news, there are 1,000 more you never hear about. Now, since the last time I rolled through these parts, and I do roll through with some frequency, I'm a little bit like herpes, I keep coming back. Since the last time I saw most of you folks, I have had my 70th birthday. I'm now... That's my natal birthday, okay? 70 years old, and I am 70, although I like 70, but not as much as I like 69, you know, at 69. But 69 was always my favorite number. I figured now I'm 69 with one finger up my ass, you know? But now that I'm an old fuck, and that's what I consider myself to be, an old fuck. Not an old man. Old fuck is a very special term. It's not the same as old man. Old man is not really a time in your life. It's not really a period of life. Old man is an attitude. It's a point of view. It's a way of looking at things. Some guys are old men when they're in their 20s and 30s. You've seen guys like that. Sometimes a kid is that way. Did you ever see the little kid with the glasses and the double-breasted suit? He's walking around like a little old man. Not me. Not an old man. Not an old fart. Because an old fart is kind of... What I am is an old fuck. It's kind of like a fat fuck. Fat fuck, tall fuck, skinny fuck, short fuck, old fuck. Who's the old fuck on the corner? Oh, that's Georgie. Georgie's the old fuck. In this respect, fuck is actually a synonym for the word fellow. But now that I'm an old fuck, I'm beginning to learn there are a few things, a few advantages that come with putting on a few extra years. The first one is you never have to carry anything heavy ever again. Everybody wants to help an old fuck. You know, if you got a big suitcase or something, you just kind of give it like this. Hey, can you help me with this? Oh, yeah, sure. How far are you going? Indianapolis. Might as well take advantage of these people that want to help. Fuck them, take advantage of it. Another nice thing about getting old is you can leave any social event early just by saying you're tired. Works great with family members. You just look at the guy next to you and say, yeah, I'm getting kind of tired, Jimmy. Oh, you're tired? Come on, Grandpa's tired. Grandpa's going to bed. Someone else says, but it's 7 in the morning. Always one fucked up person in the family. And the best thing about getting old is you're not responsible for remembering things anymore. Even important things. But it was your daughter's funeral. I forgot. You can even make believe you have Alzheimer's disease. Well, that's a lot of fun. You look around the dining room table and you say, who are you people and where's my horse? Then you look at your eldest son and you say, Agnes, I haven't seen you since First Communion. Fucks them up. Fucks them up. They don't know how to handle it. It takes them about a week to get over that shit. And they start listening to you a lot more carefully from then on. So don't be afraid to get old. It's a great time of life. You're not responsible for anything, and you get to take advantage of people. You can even shit in your pants. They expect it. I haven't tried that yet, but I don't rule it out. I'm keeping my options open. Everything is on the table. Perhaps that's not the figure of speech I wanted right there. You know what I've been doing? Going through my address book, crossing out the dead people. That's a lot of fun, don't you? Have a lot of fun doing that? You do it all your life, but you do a little more when you get older. Crossing out the dead people gives you a feeling of power, you know? Gives you kind of a feeling of superiority to have outlived an old friend, you know? But you can't do it too soon. You can't do it too soon. You can't come running home from the funeral, you know, get up. Little time has to pass. You have to let a little time pass. I have a rule of thumb, 6 weeks. If you're a friend of mine, you're in my book and you die, I leave you alone for 6 extra weeks. 6 weeks in the book on the house. But then after that, hey, facts are facts, fuck you, you're dead, out you go. You gotta have standards, folks. My standard, 6 weeks. One time I was looking through an old desk drawer and I found a piece of paper with a guy's name and his phone number on it, and I realized he had been dead for 2 weeks. You know what I did? Put him in the book, waited 4 weeks, and then scratched it out. Now these days, a lot of people don't keep analog books anymore. They don't write that stuff out longhand. They're in the computer age. They have a computer application, probably called Address Book, could be called Contacts or something like that, and they keep all the information in there, and they sync it up with their phone every day or two. So now, instead of crossing out a name, you get to delete the file. And this is an even greater feeling of power than simply scratching out a name. You know how to delete someone. You highlight the name, straight into the trash. If he's a real good friend of yours, you might not want to empty the trash for about 6 weeks. Or, if it's a little too harsh for you, if it's a little too harsh to be deleting an old friend, you can always create a new folder. A special folder for dead people. You keep it on your desktop. It's kind of a digital purgatory. Every now and then you can open it up and you can look inside and you can see the people in purgatory, and you can move them around a little bit, you know? Put them in little groups, you know? 2 people who didn't get along in life, put them together over in the corner. Let them work it out in purgatory, you know? And then you can put them all in a big, big formation and have a parade. The purgatory parade of dead people. There's a lot of fun you can have with a computer, so enjoy your digital selves. Now, I have a special gift for you at this point. I'm going to give you 3 jokes. There are 3 jokes I'm giving to you as a public service. These are free for me, not my material, they're public domain. But everybody needs a few jokes at fingertips, you know, you gotta have something on hand for social situations. These are regular jokes. Same kind of jokes people tell when they're hanging around down by the firehouse or down by the old mill stream or wherever the fuck it is people are hanging around these days. But these jokes are probably the most disgusting jokes I've ever heard. Definitely the most disgusting jokes I've ever told. But they are family jokes because they involve family members, so you can tell them to your family. Assuming, of course, you wish to start living alone. Now, this first joke isn't so much disgusting as it is, I would say, disrespectful to a certain group, and in today's climate would probably be considered politically incorrect. But it is a great joke. It takes place out on the back porch. Father and his son are out on the back porch. Can't get much more family life than that, can you? They're out there on the back porch, and the father says to the boy, "Son, would you happen to have any questions for me about sex?" And the kid says, "Well, yeah, Dad. What is that hairy area down there on Mommy?" He says, "Oh, well, that's her vulva." "Oh, well, what's a cunt?" "That's the rest of Mommy." Good fucking joke, man. People who've been divorced more than twice really like that joke. And that joke has one of the requirements for any good joke: economy of language. You have to keep the wording simple. You can't be crowding it up with a lot of excess verbiage. You keep it lean and spare, and you get in there, and you just head for the finish line. So that one certainly meets the criteria. Now, this next joke, for this joke we're back to disgusting again. This joke is definitely disgusting. In fact, this joke is vile. Vile is a nice word. You don't get to say it too often in conversation. It's mostly a word you read, but this joke definitely qualifies as vile. This joke crosses lines, which is exactly what it's intended to do. So you are forewarned. Now for this joke, we're going to switch sexes, okay? I don't say genders. I don't say gender. That's a linguistic term, belongs in the classroom. It's got nothing to do with reproduction. I call them what they are, the two sexes. That's what we have, two sexes, so I'm going to talk about the opposite sex. This joke is about a little girl. This joke will disturb some of you. Which is exactly what it's intended to do. This time it's a little girl and she's in the bathroom when her father steps out of the shower and she says, Daddy, Daddy, when am I gonna get a penis? As soon as Mommy leaves for work. Good fucking joke, man. Some people like to moan and groan when they hear a joke like that. That's because they want you to think they're better people than they really are. They're full of shit, they don't fool me. They'll be telling that joke by midnight. Guarantee. And that joke, besides having the requisite economy of language, also has another important property of any good joke, and that is the surprise element is a good one. Every joke needs a surprise, obviously, right? Or it wouldn't be a joke. In this joke, you almost think you can see the surprise coming, don't you? You kind of think you know what it's going to be. When you hear the little girl do the setup line, when am I going to get a penis? But what you didn't know was that Mommy had a job. And that's the surprise element. Now, this next joke goes beyond disgusting and vile, all the way to the world of what I would call nauseating. This joke is a stomach turner. If you have a delicate digestive system, this joke may very well fuck with dinner, and maybe even lunch. But it is a great joke. For this one, this joke comes in the form of a question, which I think would please Alex Trebek if he were here tonight. I understand he couldn't make it. He's home working on Bodies of Water for 500. But this joke also evokes a certain regional American prejudice and stereotype. How does the Ozark hillbilly girl know that her mother is having her period when her brother's dick tastes funny? Same people moaning and groaning. They'll be on the cell phone before they're in the parking lot. And you know what I like about that joke? It makes you think. It makes you think, because there comes a point in that joke where you actually have to stop and figure out the relationships. Let's see, she's blowing him, he's fucking, oh, yeah. The audience gets to be in on the fun. I always like it when the audience is in on the fun. A little dry here, pardon me for a moment. Now, going to switch our tenor of the tone of the show here for just a second. I want to tell you about a bumper sticker I saw recently that I still haven't figured out, okay? And what I want to tell you about myself is that I'm something of a student of bumper stickers. You know, I kind of enjoy looking for good ones. There aren't many good ones at all. They're great. The good ones are greatly outnumbered by the sappy ones. I really dislike the left-wing, kind of new age, sappy-ass, liberal, sort of warm and fuzzy ones. You know, think peace, begin within. You know, it's kind of psycho-spiritual pretentiousness. Here's another one that you'll see on their kind of cars. Usually it's a fucking Volvo or some shit. This is what it says. Think globally, act locally. Jerk me off. It's just pretentiousness, it's bullshit. Here's another one they have. War is not the answer. Every time I see that one, I think, well, what's the fucking question? Do you have a question that goes with it? Let me know. I want to help, you know? There are two I've seen that I like. That's not many, because I want to get to another story I want to tell you about bumper stickers, but this is kind of in a preface kind of form. There's one I see, this does not get a big laugh, but it's a wonderful mind twister. It's directed toward overzealous Christians, which I believe is a redundant phrase. But this one is precious, but it's not a big laugh getter. It says, if you don't pray in our schools, we won't think in your churches. It's just a wonderful fucking thought. And it gives it to those people right where the fuck they need it, you know? Right where the fuck they need it. Now this other one goes back to, first started appearing on American highways in early 2001, just after George Bush had been installed as president. And this one has been around since, you still see it occasionally, it's just a great one. It says simply, somewhere in Texas, a village is missing its idiot. Tell you about this other bumper sticker that I saw. Got behind a guy at a red light, you know, and started reading the shit on his card. By the way, I read everything on your car, okay? I want to know everything about you. Don't put anything on your car that you don't want me to know. I'm going to read the whole fucking thing. I want to know how your kid is doing at school, where you went to college, who you believe in, what band you like, what radio station you listen to, who you voted for. I want to know where you went on vacation. I'm going to read everything. I'm going to even read the fine print. I'll follow you for 10 fucking miles just to read the fine print. I don't give a shit. If you can read this, you're too close. But I got behind a guy at a red light, and I swear to you, his bumper sticker said, "Don't abandon your baby." And I thought, yeah. Now there's something really important to be reminding people of. Now what amused me about that bumper sticker is that this was a professional-looking bumper sticker. This wasn't some piece of crap the guy had thrown together in his garage with loose-leaf paper and a crayon. This thing had a finished look. It had good printing, nice color separation. This was sold somewhere. And what amuses me about that is that that means that more than one human being had to think that was a good idea. There was a meeting, people attended it, and this was approved. Can you imagine the level of intellect floating around that table in the conference room? What do you think, Dan? Think we got a winner here? Big winner, Dave. Big fucking winner. Let's bring them in with these bastards. This cocksucker's going to be huge. Alright, that explains them. That explains them. They're men, so they're limited. And they're businessmen, so they're severely limited. But what explains the guy in the car? What was his motive? Why would he put that on his bumper? I drove around several miles trying to think of something, and all I could come up with was I thought that maybe he must have thought that just perhaps, maybe, there was an outside chance that someone would get behind him at a red light who was on his way home to take the twins and sell them to the gypsies. And that maybe that person would have second thoughts. Other than that, I could think of nothing. People are fucking astonishing. Fucking astonishing, and they say astonishing things. There are a lot of things we all say that we never question. We just sort of go along with them. We don't examine them too closely. For instance, when someone dies, okay? When someone dies, the following conversation is bound to take place, probably more than once. Two guys meet on the street. Did you hear? Phil Davis is dead. Phil Davis dead? I just saw him yesterday. Yeah? Didn't help. He died anyway. simple act of your seeing him did not slow his cancer down. In fact, it may have made it more aggressive. You know, you could be responsible for Phil's death. How do you live with yourself? We say these things over and over. Don't even think about what they might mean. Here's another one for after someone dies. This one is usually said to the surviving spouse. Listen, if there's anything I can do, anything at all, please don't hesitate to ask. What are you gonna do? Fucking resurrection? This ain't the New Testament, you know. You know what you tell a guy like that? Oh yeah, well come on over on the weekend, you can paint the garage. Bring your plunger, the upstairs bathroom's overflowed. There's turds all over the floor up there. You know how to drive a tractor? Yeah, that North 40's gonna need seating pretty fucking soon. Tell him, fuck him, he wants to help. Call his bluff. Bring your pick and bring your shovel, bring your fucking union card. I'll put you to work here. Lots of fucking things you can do. Here's another one just like that, said to the surviving spouse. I'm keeping him in my thoughts. Where? Where does he fit in your thoughts? In between my ass hurts from this chair and let's fuck the waitress? There's a lot of euphemisms with death, you know. A lot of you people say, you know, I lost my father. Maybe he just wandered off. Now, there's one more I want to mention about that you hear after a death. Excuse me for this, but I'm really thirsty, and this is not fucking helping. You ever notice that water does not fucking quench your thirst? It just makes you thirsty. This shit does anyway. Well, I'll keep trying because it lasts for about 5 seconds. This is something that people say after a death, but this one involves belief. Belief, which is where I have fucking trouble. Okay, this one happens after the death, after the funeral, after the burial. Back at the house, where the friends and loved ones and relatives of the deceased are gathering and they're having some food and drink and remembering the person fondly. Sooner or later, someone is going to say this. You know, I think he's up there now, smiling down at us, and I think he's pleased. Now, first of all, there is no up there for people to be smiling down through. It's quaint, it's poetic, and I think for superstitious people it probably provides a little comfort, but it doesn't exist. But if it did, and if somehow someone did survive death in a non-physical form, I think personally he'd be far too busy with other activities than to be standing around paradise, smiling down at live people. And why is it no one ever says, I think he's down there now, smiling up at us? Apparently it never occurs to people that their loved ones might be in hell. Your parents could be in hell right now. Your parents, your father for sure. Hell is full of dads. Full of dads. Even the ones who took you to the ball game just for beating the shit out of you once too often. And fucking the neighbor lady. And fucking the neighbor dog. And who knows, maybe even fucking the UPS man. We'll never know what mischief Dad was up to. Parents in hell. Kind of gives you a nice feeling, doesn't it? Does me. Grandparents. Picture your grandparents in hell. There's a shot you want to think of. Grandma in hell. Baking pies. without an oven. And I think if someone were in hell, it's doubtful he'd be smiling. I think he's down there now, screaming up at us. And I think he's in severe pain. People just refuse to be realistic. They'd rather stroke themselves. People like to stroke themselves. Oh, they like to stroke themselves and stroke each other. They like to be stroked. They stroke each other. The father strokes the mother strokes the kid. Everybody's stroking everybody in this country. The government strokes you, religion strokes you, big fucking time, big business strokes you. The whole fucking country's nothing but a big stroke job. You know what the national emblem of this country ought to be? Uncle Sam standing at attention saluting, and Statue of Liberty sitting next to him jerking him off. That would be a good. Yes. We could have the first computer-generated flag. Now, speaking of dead relatives, dead parents, how did I start that? Well, speaking of dead relatives in heaven, I have a further question about this. There are some people who not only believe their dead parents in heaven can see them, they actually believe their dead parents in heaven can help them. You heard some of these people. They believe that their dead parents in heaven can intercede with God to gain favors on behalf of the living. I come from a Catholic home. I heard this shit. They sit there with the rosary and they look at you and say, oh, my dad, he was looking out for me. My dad got me out of that jam. So I'm like, well, my mom was in surgery. I can feel her presence. Yeah, fine. Like the people in heaven have nothing else to do except clean up the shit we can't handle here on earth. But let's say it's true. Let's grant the proposition. Let's say it's true that dead parents in heaven can help their living children. Fine. Now we have a family of 6 here, okay? We have 2 parents, the mother and father, and 4 children. Nice family of 6, thriving, doing a good job, living a good life. The parents go away on the weekend and they're killed. And the 4 kids survive, of course. Now these 2 people, according to the story, these 2 people, they go to heaven and they start helping their kids, right? Helping them with everything they need. Helping them with the science project, helping with their SATs, helping them get into a good school, find a nice girl to marry, get a good job, helping them with everything. And these kids grow up. Their 4 kids grow up and have children of their own. And let's say all 4 of these grown kids die at the same time too. Let's say, just for the sake of argument, let's say there's an explosion at Thanksgiving dinner. And all 4 of these, they die, but their children survive because they were seated at the children's table. Now, according to the theory, these 4 go to heaven and they start helping their kids, right? That's the job. They help them. What about the original 2? What about the grandparents? What do they do now? Do they go off duty? What do they do? Is there something for them to do up there? Do they have a retirement program? What do these people do? Is there online poker? Is there pinball? Is there shuffleboard? Some kind of shit? Or do they have to keep helping forever? Is that what heaven's all about? Helping the living forever and ever and ever? I mean, when do you get to lay back on the cloud and take a fucking harp lesson? They never mention that. Because a lot of fucking people have died already. A lot of fucking people have died. We've had, on this earth, there have been 100 billion people. That's what the experts say. 100 billion people have lived on this earth. So let's say half of them went to heaven. 50 billion people in heaven. That's pretty crowded up there. And God must get pretty pissed off with all these favors. Yeah, I know spelling test Tuesday. Get the fuck out of here, would you please? Fucking leave me alone. Now, I have further questions about this. Here's an interesting question. Suppose you die without having any children. Who do you help? Strangers? It would be nice. Suppose you're an adopted child. Who helps you? Your biological mother? She's not even supposed to know where the fuck you live. Suppose you kill your parents. Would they help you? I'll guarantee you Mr. and Mrs. Menendez are not helping those 2 boys. No. Lyle and Eric are on their own. In prison of all places, where they could probably use a little help. Okay, let's let the dead parents rest in peace or whatever the fuck it is these people do. I want to look at another set of beliefs we have in this country, secular beliefs. These are right out of the civics book. Secular beliefs. These are things they start telling you, well, this is the American myth. Every country has its own narrative, its own myth, which kind of describes the country and its ideals and a little bit of its history, maybe. Well, these are things you've heard all your life. Land of the free, home of the brave, the American dream, all men are equal, justice is blind, the press is free, business is honest, the good guys win, your vote counts, the police are on your side, and God is watching you. The American narrative. Or, as I call it, the official national bullshit story. The okey-doke. This is the fucking official okey-doke. They start pounding this shit into your head when you're a kid, because they know the kids have no intellectual defenses against these things, and most kids up to a certain age will believe everything their parents tell them. And they never question things. They never learn to question things. That's what this piece is about. Nobody questions things in this country anymore. Everybody's fat and happy now. Everybody's way too fucking prosperous for their own good. Everyone's got a cell phone that'll wash their balls and make pancakes. You know what I mean? So nobody wants to rock the boat. They don't question anything. You remember Barbara Bush? Remember Barbara Bush? I call her the silver douchebag. You remember her? Barbara Bush is the mother of Governor George Bush. I call him Governor Bush because that's the only elected office he ever held in his fucking life, okay? I don't care where they hang his portrait, I don't care where they build a statue to him, he'll always be Governor Bush. Barbara Bush is his mother and the wife, therefore, of his father, George H.W. Bush, who did become president legally, and she became First Lady. Now, women in this country have come a long way over the last 30, 40, 50 years, thanks mostly to their own efforts, no help from men. The only help they got from men was given grudgingly, kicking and screaming at best. So women have come a long way, but not far enough, because there are a lot of areas of American life where women are still sort of condescended to. They're sort of patronized. You know, First Lady is one of those places. When the macho asshole, the big alpha male scumbag, becomes president, she comes along for the ride as First Lady, and she's usually given something to do to keep her busy, some kind of a charity or a cause that she can champion. Betty Ford was told to drink, right? Remember that? That was her activity. Betty, you drink. You drink and get really fucked up, okay? Just get totally fucked up. Blow your fucking liver out. We don't give a fuck. Just get good and fucked up. We're going to put you in a place. We'll get you well and we'll put your name in the place. How do you like that, huh? That was her assignment. That was her assignment. Barbara Bush's assignment was getting children to read. Remember that? Getting children to read. They felt she had had so much success with George. That she would be a natural to get children to read, which misses the point. It's not important to get children to read. It's important to get children to question what they read. Children are never told to question what they read. Parents never tell children to question authority because parents are authority figures themselves and they don't want to undermine their own bullshit inside the household. So they stroke the kid and the kid strokes them and they stroke each other and the whole family strokes and they grow up all fucked up and they come to shows like this, okay? Whenever I see a little kid, whenever I'm with a little kid, which isn't often, okay, we have laws, all right? Usually it's something like a wedding reception, you know, where the kids love wedding receptions because they're completely unsupervised. The kids are on their own. They run fucking wild. They're dancing in front of the man, they're stealing cake and stealing money out of the purses and drinking fucking wine, having a good time. When one of these kids runs past me, I always say, hey kid, hey, don't believe anything your parents tell you. Everything your parents tell you is bullshit. Actually, only half of it is bullshit, but you're not gonna know which half. They look at you like you got a dick growing out of your head, you know? I love doing that to a child's mind. And then, of course, my message for people of any age, when they're feeding you a lot of shit, do what the nice girls do, don't swallow. Is that still true, by the way? Do nice girls swallow yet? I haven't seen a poll on that. You'd think by now ABC News and the Wall Street Journal would have done a poll on whether or not nice girls swallow. I guess the trouble is you'd have to identify all the nice girls. That would be a problem right there. There's just so much bullshit floating around. We all get used to it. It's like wallpaper. It's like elevator music. You hardly notice it anymore. A lot of bullshit floating around. Here's one. Here's a great one. Drink responsibly. These fucking vermin, you know, selling this shit. Drink responsibly. Gamble with your head, not with your heart. Your phone call is important to us. Yeah, sure it is. That's why you're not going to answer the fucking thing, right? Why I'm sitting here listening to a dorky Kenny G solo. Your call may be monitored for training purposes. They're intimidating their employees. Here's one you hear from CEOs. You know, the seat of the CEOs, these malignant vermin who run these corporations, CEOs, and COOs, and CIOs. These people, and sports coaches, big-time sports coaches, when they're fired, they're usually fired behind the scenes, in private, by the board of directors or by the owners, and yet they're allowed to save face in public at the press conference by saying, "I'm retiring now so that I can spend more time with my family." No one ever gave up a good job to spend more time with his family. Just fucking believe me. It's never happened. Here's one you hear from athletes, these psychotics who speak of themselves in the third person. And movie actor, hear this from movie stars. "I just want to give something back." You ever hear that shit? "I just want to give back to the community." "I am? Well, that may be good for you. But me, I ain't giving nothing back." You know why? Because I didn't take nothing. You can search my fucking house. It's all my shit. I've got receipts for everything. You want to give something back? How about giving half the money, cocksucker? Huh? Well, my words were taken out of context. I hear. Context. Now, a newer version of special kind of bullshit has arisen in this country in the last 20 years, thanks to something I call the cult of the child. In short, it's just simply child worship. These parents, these professional parents, who are robbing children of their childhoods by overscheduling them and overmanaging them and giving them first names like Mackenzie. What kind of a fucking name is that for a little girl? Mackenzie. Belongs on a duty roster in the Navy. Mackenzie latrine Saturday and Sunday. One of the ways the parents jerk these kids off now is by never telling them they lost at anything. Children are never told in any game or competition that they lost. Everybody gets a trophy. Everybody's a winner. A kid never gets to hear, "You lost, Bobby. You lost. Bobby, you're a loser." They never hear that till they're 27 or 28. And the boss says, "Bobby, come on in, clean out your desk. You're a fucking loser. Get out of here. We don't need you in this fucking place." Now, you know what you do with the kids? It's real easy. Sorry about my throat here. Real easy to raise a kid. Raising a kid is not hard. It's what you do. You take the kids, you put them on a street corner. You leave them there. You come back a week later. If the kid is still there, you got yourself a stupid fucking kid. Shit is not a mystery. Now, you wouldn't know it from some of the things I say, but I like people. I do, but I like them in short bursts. I don't like them for extended periods of time. I don't like hanging out. Want to hang out? No. I'm not good at forced mingling. I wouldn't be good at carpools, or card games, or camping. Jesus fucking Christ. How do these camping, how do they stand each other for 3 or 4 fucking days in the woods? You can't even walk away from the fucker. And the reason for all these feelings is very simple. I have a low tolerance level for stupid bullshit. And most everyone wants to tell you their stupid bullshit. And I especially have no time for the ones who don't know when the conversation is over. People who just keep talking and talking, verbal diarrhea running at the mouth. They don't know when to stop. Stupid shit. Stupid shit you're not interested in. Trivial bullshit you couldn't care less about. I tell you about my mom and dad. They went on vacation to Alberta, Canada. It's about 5 or 6 years ago. Might have been 5. I think it was closer to 5 years ago. Anyway, they went on vacation in Alberta, Canada. And no, 6. I bet you it was 6. And my dad bought an ashtray for my mom that had a picture of a big grizzly bear taking a dump. Did you know the grizzly bear taking the dump is the national animal of Canada? Well, my dad knew that, but my mom didn't know. My mom thought the national animal of Canada was a big pink dildo with a fur hat. So my dad shopped and shopped and shopped and tried and tried and tried. Shut the fuck up, please. Just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. And when he's finished talking about his parents, he'll tell you about his cousin Dexter, who was voted least interesting man in Del Rio, Texas. 12 years running, a recent haircut he got that he enjoyed. Or the new parking space that's 12 feet closer to his front door than it used to be. And you don't give a shit. You're trying to indicate with your body language that you're through with this fuck. You're leaning at a 45-degree angle, indicating the direction you'd like to go. If you would just shut the fuck up. You might even give him a verbal cue. Surgery, surgery. I'm trying to get to surgery. I'm having my ears sewn shut. Same thing on the phone. Same thing on the phone. They don't know when to hang up. Dumb things they ask you. So what are you guys going to do 3 summers from now? Have you decided yet? We haven't decided. Marge wants to go to the beach. The kids like it in the mountains, and I want to go to the lake. Grandma wants to stay in the basement tool shed. How about you? Have you decided yet? It's never too early to plan. We're going to Norway in 2025. Did you know that until the 1950s, the main import of I'm sorry, same thing though, you can't use body language with the guy on the phone. You have to talk him in. Or you can always use the old standby. Or if it's your mother, you show your mother respect, you put her on speakerphone. But they can't see that, so you have to use your voice. You have to talk them into a soft landing. Right, okay, good. Okay then, right. Fuck, there he goes again. You remember my neighbor who had the burns on 90% of her body? Well, she burned the other 10% now. She was lighting a blunt and the house blew up. Listen, Andorra, I hate to be rude, but I just took a 3.5-hour shit. I'm bleeding from the asshole. Well, I don't have any mercurochrome. You have to resort to these methods because a lot of people don't know what a telephone call is like. What a phone call should be. A phone call should be the quick exchange of a few vital pieces of information. That's all. That's all. Hey, hi, Steve, what time's the circle jerk start tonight? 10 o'clock. Okay, listen, I'm gonna be a little late. Start without me. Oh, don't worry, I'll catch up. I'm watching a horny movie and eating lots of oysters. Fucking people and their shit, you know. You know, it would be great for a guy like me just to be in a coma. Wouldn't that be great just to crap out all fucking day? Talk about being a couch potato, holy shit. You just lie there, nothing to do, no phone calls coming in. Nobody has to, you know, nobody dropping by unexpectedly. And if they do drop by unexpectedly, you're completely unaware of it. Because you're in a fucking coma. And you don't have to listen to their stupid shit. Their stupid shit about their new HD TV, flat screen, plasmas, they don't know what room to put the thing in, and the new ride-around lawnmower with the two-tone horn and the GPS and the OnStar in case you get lost on the lawn. And their kids, Jesus fucking Christ. There's nothing worse than to be stuck somewhere with some married asshole and have to listen to him tell you about his fucking kids. Let me tell you something, folks. Nobody cares about your children, okay? We don't really fucking care. We don't care. I speak for everyone. I've been appointed by the rest to speak for the group. We don't give a fuck about your children. That's why they're your children. So you can give a fuck, and we don't have to. But they tell you anyway. Todd is in the 7th grade now. He's in the cheese club. Giselle is 5 and she's already had 6 periods. Johan is 11. He pretty much sits around the house hallucinating all day. Then they want to show you the pictures. Here's another ordeal, the fucking pictures of these little gargoyles who have sprung from their loins. They love these women love to drop a unit on you, you know? Hey Jeff, want a kid? Mackenzie, what do you think? There are 2 ways you can handle the pictures I have found. 2 ways to handle the pictures. The first is the easy way. You just kind of take it for granted. You just kind of go through the motions. Yeah. Boy. Girl, older boy, older girl, good, 4. Listen, I have to go clean my comb, I'll see you later. And you get the fuck out of there. Or you can do what I do, be a little realistic about what you see. Take a chance. Be a little critical. Look at the fucking head on that kid. That fucking thing is huge. Have you put him on YouTube yet? Well, you get a lot of hits with a head like that, I'll tell you. Well, put him on eBay. eBay'd be good. You might make a little money on the kid, you know? There's bound to be some European circus would snap that kid up in a minute. Fucking thing is huge. Where do you find hats for a kid like that, huh? Don't be jerking people off. Tell them the truth. Tell them what you see. Then they want to show you the pictures of a little girl whose teeth are coming in. And they think it's cute. It's not. It's fucking horrifying. Do you ever look at some of these fucking kids with their teeth coming in? You ever look in there? Several rows, 2-3 rows of fucking teeth coming in at all funny angles and shit. Oddball colors, off khaki, rust-colored teeth and shit. Just be honest. You better start saving your money right now, man. It is going to cost you a fucking fortune to fix that. You're going to need a team of international orthodontists around the clock. That is it. Why don't you just have them all pulled and let her start over again, you know? Or you can take a picture of her with her mouth closed. That'll save a lot of heartache, you know? Listen, you're not Catholic by any chance, are you? The reason I ask is you might want to take her to Lourdes and pray for a miracle, because don't be stroking people. Tell them the fucking truth. Now, folks, I'm sorry for some of the disjointed shit that was going on here. It's just that kind of show at this point. You know, it is. It's disjointed. I didn't smoke any joints coming out of here. So. Anyway, this is a separate section. This has to do with things I don't understand about our country, okay? These are also in the line of secular beliefs and customs, civic customs. Let me just tell you about a few of these, okay? Because this is the kind of the ending for the show. There are a few things I really don't understand. Like I say, one of them is this bumper sticker that I see, proud to be an American. I don't understand that kind of shit, proud to be an American. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? I've never understood ethnic pride. I've never understood national pride. Because when I was a kid, I'm Irish. All four of my grandparents were born in Ireland. When I was a kid, I used to go to the St. Patrick's Day parade, and they would sell a button that said proud to be Irish. And I could never understand that, because on Columbus Day, they would sell a button that said proud to be Italian. And then they had Black pride, and then they had Puerto Rican pride. I could never understand ethnic or national pride. To me, pride should be reserved for something you achieve or attain on your own, not something that happens to you by accident of birth. Being Irish isn't a skill, okay? It's a fucking accident. It's genetic. You wouldn't say, I'm proud to be 5'11", or I'm proud to have brown hair. Why the fuck would you be proud to be Irish or American? Be glad. If you're glad, that's fine, just be glad. Here's another one of these empty slogans I don't understand. God bless America. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? God bless America. I can't even figure out the meaning of such a phrase. Politicians say it all the time, at the end of every speech, as though it were a verbal tick or something that they couldn't get rid of. God bless you, and God bless America. I guess they're afraid if they don't say it, someone's going to think they're bad Americans. Let me tell you a little secret about God, folks. God does not give a flying fuck about America. He really doesn't care. He really doesn't give a fuck any more than he cares about Denmark, China, Finland, Disneyland, Greenwich Village, the Suez Canal, the North Pole, or Disneyland. He doesn't give a fuck. There are 200 countries in this world now. 200 countries. Do you really think God is sitting around heaven figuring out his favorites? Why would God do that? Why would God favor America over all the other countries? Because we have the most money? Because we waste the most energy? Because he likes our national anthem? Maybe he just thinks we have really good pizza here. And we're not alone. America's not alone with this delusion. Military cemeteries around the world are filled with people who could have sworn that God was on their side. Americans pray for God to destroy our enemies pray for God to destroy us. Somebody's going to be disappointed. Somebody's wasting his fucking time. Could it be everyone? Now, personally, I don't give a shit if people say, God bless America, that's their business. But what I don't understand is this. Presumably, these people believe in God. If they believe in God, I was always told that God loved everyone, and he loved everyone equally. And he told us to do that. He said, love everyone equally. So why would you ask God to do something that went against his own teachings? Well, it doesn't make sense. American people, they ought to just get their shit together once and for all and say, God bless everyone all around the world forever and ever and all for all time. That's what Jesus would have said. They should check what that Jesus fellow is so crazy about. You know what Jesus would have said. Jesus would have said, God bless all you fuckers forever and ever. That's what he would have said. Or could it be that God bless America is really just another empty slogan with no real meaning except for something like, good luck. Good luck, America. You're on your own. Which is closer to the truth. Here's another superstition I don't understand. Taking off your hat when a flag passes by. Or some jackoff at the ballpark starts singing the national anthem and saying, take off your hat. What the fuck does a hat have to do with being patriotic? What relationship exists between the uncovered head and a feeling that ought to reside in your heart? Suppose you have a red, white, and blue hat. Suppose you have a hat made out of a flag. Why would you take it off to honor the flag? Wouldn't you leave it on and point it toward the flag? And what's so bad about hats? What's so bad about hats that you have to take them off? Why not take off your pants? Or your shoes? They tell you that at the airport, take off your shoes. They tell you it's national security. So taking off your hat can be patriotic too. I started questioning all this stupid shit when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I was a Catholic. Until I reached the age of reason, okay? But I was a Catholic there for about 2.5 years. And they told us that if a boy or a man went into church, he had to remove his hat to honor the presence of God. But they had already told us that God was everywhere. So I used to wonder, well, if God is everywhere, why would you even own a hat? Why not show your respect? Don't even buy a fucking hat. And just to confuse things further, they told Catholic women exactly the opposite. The women and the girls had to cover their heads.
when they went into church, even if it was just a hanky, they had to cover their heads. Like Jewish men in certain temples have to cover their heads. The Jewish women in those temples are not allowed to cover their heads. So figure this shit out. Catholic men and Jewish women, no hats. Catholic women and Jewish men, hats. Somebody's got the whole fucking thing totally backward, okay? Totally fucking backward. I can't follow that. And what is this religious fascination with headgear? What's this fascination? Everybody's got a fucking hat. Hindus have a turban. The Sikhs have a tall white turban. The Jews have a yarmulke. The Muslims have a keffiyeh, the kind of tablecloth looking thing in the back there. The bishop has a pointy hat. The cardinal has a red hat. The pope has a white hat. Everybody's got a fucking hat. One group puts them on, the other group takes them off. Personally, I would never want to be a member of any group where you either have to wear a hat or you can't wear a hat. I think all religions should have only one rule. Hats optional. That's what you gotta do. Here's something else I don't understand. Swearing on the Bible. Do you understand that shit, swearing on the Bible? They hold out the Bible. They tell you to raise your right hand, place your left hand on the Bible. Does this really matter? Left hand, right hand. Does God really give a shit? Suppose you put your right hand on the Bible and you raise your left hand. Would that count? Or would God say, sorry, wrong hand, try again? And why does one hand have to be raised? What is the magic in this gesture? This seems like almost like a primitive voodoo mojo of some kind. Like a magician's gesture. Why don't you put one hand on the Bible, let the other hand hang down by your side? Or put it in your pocket. Remember, you all used to say, don't put your hands in your pockets. Did you know something we don't know? Is this hand shit really important? Well, let's get back to the Bible. America's official national theatrical prop. Suppose the Bible they hand you is upside down, or backward, or both, and you swear to tell the truth on an upside down, backward Bible. Would that count? Suppose the Bible they hand you is an old Bible, and half the pages are missing. Suppose it's a Chinese Bible in an American court, or a Braille Bible and you're not blind. Suppose they hand you an upside down, backward Chinese Braille Bible with half the pages missing. At what point does all of this stuff break down and become just a lot of superstitious shit that somebody made up? Somebody fucking made it up. It's meaningless. It's meaningless bullshit. It's kid stuff. Kid stuff. Remember when you were a kid, if you told another kid something he didn't quite believe, he'd say, you swear to God? I'd say, yeah, I swear to God. Even if I was lying. Why not? What's going to happen if I lie? Nothing. Nothing happens if you lie. Unless you get caught, and that's a whole different story. Sometimes a kid would think he was being slick with me, you know, and he'd say, you swear in your mother's grave? I'd say, yeah. Why not? First of all, my mother didn't have a grave, she was alive. Second of all, even if she was dead, what's she gonna do? Rise from the grave and come and haunt me? Because I told a lie to an 8-year-old? Grow up, get fucking real. Sometimes I would say, I swear on my mother's tits. Kids are impressed with things like that. I mean, I don't care about my mother's tits either. I don't care if they fell off. Fuck her, not my problem. Your tits, Mom, you keep an eye on them, okay? It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. And swearing on the Bible doesn't mean anything either. Bible or no Bible, God or no God, if it suits their purposes, people are going to lie in court. The police do it all the time. All the time. It's part of their job to protect, to serve, and to commit perjury whenever it supports the state's case. One more of these civic superstitions, and this one is the keystone. This one is the cornerstone, I should say. Everybody in this country yammers about their rights. Boy, you can't go 20 feet in this country without some cocksucker telling you about his rights. I have a right, you have a right, we have no right, they have a right, we all have a right, they have a right to the public has a right to know. Listen, folks, I hate to spoil your fun, but there's no such thing as rights, okay? We made them up. They're imaginary, like the boogeyman. Like Pinocchio, the Three Little Pigs, shit like that. We fucking made them up. It's a cute idea, right? It's a cute idea, but that's all it is, cute and fictional. But if you think you do have rights, let me ask you this. Where do they come from? People say, well, they came from God. They're God-given rights. Oh, fuck, here we go again. The God excuse, the last refuge of a man who has no argument and no answers. Well, it came from God. Anytime we can't explain something, we blame it on God. Personally, I believe that if your rights came from God, He would have given you the right to some food every day and the right to a roof over your head. God would have been looking out for you. He wouldn't have been worried about giving you guns so you could kill your fucking girlfriend's parents. But let's concede the point. Let's concede the point. Let's say God gave us our rights, okay? Why would He give us a certain number of rights? In this country, the Bill of Rights has 10 stipulations. We have 10 rights. And by the way, God must have done sloppy work because we've had to amend the Bill of Rights 17 additional times. God left out shit like slavery. But let's agree that God gave America 10 rights in our Bill of Rights. He gave the British 13. They have 13 stipulations in their Bill of Rights. The Germans have 29. The Belgians have 26. The Swedish have only 5. And some people around the world have no rights at all. What kind of a goddamn God-given deal is that? No rights at all. Why would God give different people in different countries different numbers of different rights? Boredom? Amusement? Bad arithmetic? Do we find out at long last, after all this time, that God is weak in math skills? Doesn't sound like divine planning to me. Sounds more like human planning. Sounds like one group trying to control another group. In other words, business as usual in America. You see, you have no rights. You don't have any rights. If you think you do, you should read about the Japanese American citizens in 1941. Some of you know this story. Older folks will know this, have heard of it. Anyway, in 1941, there were 110,000 Japanese American citizens in good standing. American citizens, law-abiding people, had not done anything. They were thrown into detention camps because their parents were born in the wrong country. That's the only thing they did wrong. They had no right to a lawyer, no right to a fair trial, no right to a jury of their peers, no right to due process. The only right they had, right this way, into the camps. Just when these citizens needed their rights, their government took them away. And rights aren't rights if somebody can take them away. They're privileges. That's all we have in this country is a bill of temporary privileges, and it gets shorter every fucking year. Every fucking year. Personally, I believe one of two things. I think either we have unlimited rights or no rights at all. Anything in between, to me, is arbitrary. Personally, I lean toward unlimited rights. I think I have the right to do anything I want. But if I do something you don't like, I think you have the right to kill me. So where are you going to get a fairer fucking deal than that? So the next time some yo-yo says to you, I have a right to my opinion, you say, oh yeah? Well, I have a right to my opinion, and my opinion is you have no right to your opinion. Then shoot the motherfucker and walk away. Thanks for being here, Zach. Thanks for asking me to come.